Welcome back to the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium. Tange, game 13 between two traditional rivals, South Australia and Western Australia. Both teams very highly skilled, highly drilled. I'm Eric Brook, and alongside me, David Baxter. David, welcome back for your second game.
Thanks, Eric. This will be your 42nd, yes?
Something like that. I know Michael's keeping track, but great effort here. We should have mentioned, by the way, Amelia Knott, one of the backup goaltenders for South Australia. She's gliding in towards the net now, along with Zach Murphin. She's recently had, and she's on screen now, she recently had a very important announcement for them, for her, and also for her hockey career. She's actually been accepted into the Lovell Academy in Massachusetts. So that's fantastic for her. I know as a goalie parent yourself, that's a very big deal.
Yeah,
deal there, David.
Congratulations to Amelia. Looking forward to following her progress overseas.
Absolutely, and sometimes that's a place that you can go and going to overseas like that. We've seen that with a lot of Australians going overseas and
come back for this.
Absolutely. Amelia has been fantastic for Adelaide hockey, and that's a good sign of achievement, because it's not easy to get into something like that.
Yeah, and the knowledge she'll bring back when she does come back from all the training that she'll experience over there will be great. So
you're not seeing double, folks. We have the Victorian situation in net. We have Thomas Pappas in 20, who's in the net at the moment, and we have, now you'd appreciate this, David, the e-bug situation.
Yeah, so the e-bug, I'm not really up on it. I've just heard it's sort of a rumor mill thing that I've heard around the rink. That there are
definitely
goalies,
not a rumor, my friend. So
yeah, there's goalies hanging around in the corners in case they are required.
Emergency backup goaltender.
Yeah, emergency backup goaltender. So, do we have a list of them, or do we?
The e-bugs have been changing. We haven't necessarily had a list of the e-bugs. Thomas Pappas, because Victoria have only brought one goaltender. Yeah. So the local e-bugs have been there.
I can tell you who he is.
Well, go for it.
Yeah, that's Louis Mahar, who plays for the Emperors out of Sydney. He's I believe a second-year bantam. Yeah, and also plays up in the midgets for the club, and played in Defree. Yeah.
So having a look now at the South Australian bench, in that they have to choose between Zach Murphin and also Amelia Knott that we were talking about earlier. So yeah, the e-bug situation over the tournament's been interesting between the four different tournaments that are running together at the same time. We had a situation for the ACT earlier on in Defrees where the goalie forgot their pants back at the hotel. New pants were required. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then they took a shot to the head during warm-up. Helmet had to be adjusted, and so the local e-bug came in and did a good job for the whole game. So looking forward to this game. What are your initial impressions from what you can see and what you have seen as we have a look on screen, David, at the Victorian bench?
Yeah, so the Victorians, I've watched them play against New South Wales, and they played really well. They had they challenged New South Wales. I think basically our goalies supported us there. So they're a strong team, but they're going to be in hard against South Australia, who are off a big game against New South Wales yesterday. So it'll be interesting to watch. South Australia and WA did play last night, and it was a much closer game.
South Australia were in that game until the final seconds, thanks to that big save from Marcus Henderson. Here comes South Australia on the attack. Victoria trying to clear it out. That will come all the way back for Luca Laurier. It will come back now. Here's Jed Lake. Jed Lake fires and deflected there by Murphin. Murphin going side to side, and we're going to have a penalty after 23 seconds. I think that's going to be called a delay of game against the goalie.
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like happening. We're going to get confirmation on that one. delay of game against Zach Murphy, and so Mickey Noddle will be the unfortunate sacrificial lamb heading towards the penalty box. That's a penalty, obviously, David, that the goalie can't serve themselves.
So that's a 2-minute penalty. It'll be interesting to see how Victoria responds so quickly with their power play. I'd say they have their strong unit out there, and let's see if they can win the face-off and get some O-time.
So the officials putting... Where is the officials mountain? They've put their flag right into the ground early on, 23 seconds in, calling a delay of game penalty for kicking off the netting.
Yeah, let's see how that goes long term, because I know the Victorian goalie had some problems with that net yesterday.
So Victoria onto the power play. If you thought that was going to happen in the first 23 seconds, nobody had that on their bingo card. Now Victoria, they need to get somebody in the net. They have Adam Harper in front. Good shot there from Jed Lake. Yep. Adam Harper in net for Victoria. Has been playing a lot on the D line. He is a natural D man, but in these sort of situations has been the pest in front of the net, acting as a screen.
Yeah, it was a good cross-ice vision pass by number 9 Victoria, who is Jaden Pierce with the lovely Rasta dreadlocks. You can't miss him.
So back now, it'll come back now for Mr. Pierce. Up against the boards, in towards skate higher corner. We'll come back now, and it'll back now. Barrett there. South Australia looking to clear it out via South Australia. Gabriel Kadelka in the slot. It'll come back, still on the power play, Victoria, for the next minute 25. Up against the boards now. Keeping in the zone. It was good work there by Jed Lake. Weaving, swerving in front. They were moving the goalie, power play goal, Victoria, and they're up and about.
Yeah, it was a lovely crisp pass by Jed Lake. Really spread the goalie, and no chance on that one.
So
and it was a great one-timer too. Yeah.
So great work there by Jaden Pierce.
Yeah, they really had the ozone time there, Victoria. South Australia got pinned in.
Back now for Luca Lauria. They're certainly well drilled. Victoria back into centre ice we go. Here's Trinker. Trinker enters the zone now, gets force wide. Kept in the zone via Daniel Kadelka. Trying to fire it. Just paddled aside there by Pappas. Here's Trinker. Centering. Victoria are there. Just electing to go towards the left-hand side, firing it across. It'll come all the way back down. And that, David, will come back for icing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a break in the play. Quick goal to start. Let's see how South Australia respond.
So an attacking zone face-off coming up for Trinker. So back to 5-on-5 hockey. After the power play goal. South Australia looking, now that net's off. Now, are they going to be consistent here? That's the question.
Yeah.
You put your flag in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So the penalty box door is open for Victoria.
Let's hope for a clean slate after this.
So the referee came over and said, I literally said the same thing to the other guy at the other end, and I'm glad that it's the same result.
Yeah. But,
so now a South Australia power play opportunity, and we saw what happened during the Victoria power play, David.
Yeah, let's see how South Australia respond with theirs. First power play of the game for them.
Here comes Gavin battling up against the boards. Reinforcements arrive. So I've never seen that. Here comes Jed Lake. Jed Lake against Kadelka. Short-handed goal for Victoria.
Yeah, Jed Lake's on fire. He's been, he had a couple opportunities even before the.
Murphy's frustrated.
Goal.
Sorry, David. Murphy's frustrated. Just gave the goals a bit of a shove there after that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good work. There was a foot race there. In the replay, we'll see it. And yeah, so the net went off after the puck went through.
So a short-handed goal to Victoria and a power play goal to Victoria because of delay of games at Ivory. And there's another penalty up, and that'll come in the favour of South Australia. Murphy comes off for the extra tackle. Well controlled there by South Australia. Nice long stretch pass. And they touch up Victoria. Power play box door will be opening. So a 5-on-3 power play coming up for South Australia for the next minute 39, David.
Yeah.
Nobody put this on the bingo card, seriously.
Yeah, colourful start. 2-0. Controversy. Some good action goals.
I'm sure Victoria would like to have Jed Lake stay on the ice for the whole 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Jed Lake could do it just quietly.
Yeah. It's 5-on-3 here, so let's see what happens. Victoria is going to be under siege.
They just had to wipe off the original penalty, which is no longer in effect. So the scoreboard's now corrected. Minute 39 of 5-on-3 for South Australia, David. They really need to take advantage of this one, even though it's early.
Oh, and Victoria have possession.
Jed Lake with it now. Centering cleared out well, kept in the zone via Daniel Kudelka. Finds some support in Luca Loria back for Daniel Kudelka. There's Nikita Loria, who was on the other half of the showreel goal saved by Henderson yesterday for Victoria. Murphy will just settle the puck down. Still a minute 15 of the 5-on-3 power play. Back now for Daniel Kudelka. He's got options towards the right-hand side. Finds Loria of the Luca variety. Weaved in and out of the traffic, put a good quality shot on, saved there by Pappas.
Yeah, good mobility save for Pappas. That would have been the first shot on for him. So that was a good start. Yeah, the goalie's first shot is always the one they want. So he did well.
So South Australia just making a late change there. Nikita Loria. So closest to us, Daniel Kudelka in defence. So still a 5-on-3 power play for the next minute for South Australia. Here's Daniel Kudelka now walking the line, firing. Opportunity in front, had two big guys in front of him. Nikita Loria and also Trinker. Back now for Daniel Kudelka, walking the blue line, has some support down low. Nikita Loria in some traffic, they've got players there. That could have been a cross check in the back. Bushy shoving in front between Harper and also Trinker in front. We have a power play goal, South Australia. And this game is going to explode.
So that was really nice passing, tic-tac-toe style. But yeah, we got something going on. No, just celebrations.
Just a drive-by.
Yeah. So yeah, that was nice. Nice mobility passing by South Australia on their power play.
So a power play goal. Sorry, David. A power play goal for South Australia. So that Victoria get one player back. So that'll be a 5-on-4 now for the next 57 seconds. But who knows, mate? What's going to happen in this next minute?
Yeah.
Puck will eventually leave the face-off circle. We'll come back now for Victoria, getting sent wide. Oh, that's going to be a penalty every day of the week and twice on Saturdays.
I think the gate at the penalty side is opening more than the player side at the moment.
So Luca Loria sitting in the penalty box for 2 minutes. 2 minutes for boarding. What they might have to do just for the next referee's course next year, just show this game, maybe turn off the commentary. And if you want to he certainly is. Oh, he certainly is doing a good job. Back now, here we go, trying to clear it out. Now we have a 4-on-4 for situation for the next 42 seconds. It will come back now. Here comes South Australia, just happy to dump it in on this occasion. any other rare penalties that we haven't seen for a while that we may want to see. This game's had everything and it's only not even 5 minutes old. Here comes Victoria, who are up 2-1, Cafe corner. That'll come in towards the corner. Gabrielle Kadelka firing it off, finding some support by Song. Song firing it in the zone, he'll come off for a change. It's one thing South Australia have been good at this level with their line changes. Nikita Lauria coming on and applying some pressure. While Victoria were having a committee meeting over there, and Nikita Lauria, like a ninja, came in and almost stole the puck. Up against the boards, Victoria hemmed down here. So there's 1 minute remaining now on the Victorian power play after those penalties. So Victoria now, David, on the power play. Here's Jed Lake now. Lake entering the zone, driving the net, firing. Got a bit of Daniel Kadelka on the way through, out of the zone. And then Jed Lake again, 45 seconds of the power play. Here's Adam Harper now. Got a bit more of a roving commission than he does with the Mustangs. Back now for Trinker. Trinker gets forced wide. Trinker centering, couldn't connect with anybody in front. And I know that's one thing you said, David, last game, people being in front of the net. Yeah.
Just getting it low maybe is a good idea for South Australia now, and try and work it, possession down in the offensive zone. Victoria are breaking out very nicely.
So coming back now, here comes South Australia. Nikita Lauria dropping it off there. Had to watch the offside there, Song. Back to neutral ice. Here's Harper again, who's been everywhere, firing. Got a bit of stick on the way through by Scott Dwyer. He's one of the New South Wales players in the New South Wales system. Heavy contact up against their boards in skate higher corner. Ice is slippery up against the boards. Up against the boards. Reinforcements arriving from both teams. And now Victoria, the power play is over. The penalty boxes are empty. And maybe the penalty box attendants can have a break, David. South Australia look to clear it out of their defensive zone, tapping it on. And
1 on 3 here?
Gavin,
1 on
definitely
4.
1 on 4.
Yeah.
And Gavin, how did he get that shot off with 1 on 4?
Yeah.
Here's how exactly.
Yeah, so the Victoria have, they're playing a good numbers game coming back. Well, we got, no change. Tried to press the envelope there with a change, and referees.
Victoria have the last change. Attacking zone face-off coming up for South Australia. 2-1 Victoria. This game seems like it's been going on for an eternity with everything that's been packed into it. Luca Lauria thought about power drive. Gavin from the distance has been good. Cleared out of the slot there by Barrett. Here's an opportunity to clear it out now. Back towards neutral ice. Here's Trinker. Trinker now. Trinker going wide. Up against the boards. He will come back now for South Australia. Yeah. Trying to fire from distance is Daniel Kadelka. Barrett now looking to clear it out. Just kept in the zone by Daniel Kadelka. Players in front, but Barrett. Daniel Kadelka again. Pressure. Firing from distance, wide. It'll come back now for Gavin. Gavin looking to clear it out into the slot. Kadelka, feathered touch. Just kept it in the zone, but not by much. Here's Gavin. Gavin trying to squeeze through a couple. Slightly wide. Luca Lauria, backhanded shovel. Zamboni corner. Contact there. Cleared out. All the way back down. Touched on the way through. Luca Lauria. Jed Lake back on the ice. Coming through here, getting sent wide. Nikita Lauria up against Jed Lake. Up against the boards. Victoria need to clear it out. They've got options left and right. One of the options wouldn't have been to hand it over to South Australia in the slot. They fortunately recover. Here's Jaden Pearce now. Deflected on the way through. They clear it back in the neutral ice. An opportunity for Mickey Noddle. That is a foot race. And it was good work there by Victoria there in the foot race was Nelson.
Yeah, you got body position. What you see your defensemen do.
So Mickey Noddle playing up from DeFreeze. It'll come up now. Here comes Victoria on the right-hand side. Here's Harper, probably enjoying the extra commission that he gets up against Gabrielle Kadelka. Reinforcements arrive. Cafe corner. Soup's now on the menu. Certainly appreciated by our camera operator Beck, who's next to us, all the way back down, and that'll be saved.
Oh, nice little flick pass.
Yeah, it was a nice little flick pass. Safety first, up against the boards near the door of doom. That goes wide. This time of Pappas. Centering, Trinker, Mickey Noddle. Zamboni corner.
Look out, the train's coming.
Oh, whooshka. And the funny thing is, David, you don't know that my day job is actually a train driver.
All aboard.
All aboard indeed. Back now. Here's Gavin, weaving, swerving, has some support in Song. Gavin may not need him, drives to the net. Well driven to the net there by Lucas Gavin. Cross-ice pass, he's like a little Energizer bunny. Up against the boards. They have a couple of players in front, including Barrett. Barrett takes over for Victoria. 5:55 remaining in the first period. Lots of end-to-end hockey. Back to Luca Loria now.
Slow it down a bit.
I'd appreciate that.
There you go.
Left to head side, tapped on there by Lucas Caveen before he comes off. There's been a few of those distinctive next level sticks. Here's an uh-oh. Well, there's a couple of uh-ohs that I've heard now, David.
Yeah, there's a few giveaways in the Victoria zone at the moment. That's where it is a lot of the time. Yeah, they just got to settle down a little bit.
Heavy contact up against the boards.
Saying that, though, South Australia are forechecking nicely.
Here comes Trinker now. Trinker around a couple, trying to get a shot off. Gets a shot off. Higher and wide, closer to the scoreboard than the bottom of the net or the top of the net or anywhere else in the net. 5:01 remaining in the first.
It's deep in the bleachers, eh?
Free souvenir puck if it had got through that net. Attacking zone face-off coming up, and Song will be back there. Glides into the dot. Got Gavin towards the right-hand side.
It's a battle here.
Back towards the Victorian bench. Flung in there by Gavin. Avoids the hit there by Jed Lake.
Nice interception.
Well done, Gabriel Kadelka, firing it in. Come back for Jed Lake. Find some support on the other side. Going straight up the middle, finding some support now. It's got Dewar in front, going wide. Murphin hasn't seen any action, David, for a little bit of time.
No, it's been quiet.
And it must be hard as a goalie if all the action's been at the other end.
Yeah, especially if one goalie's doing really, really well. Watching your peer stand on their head or support their team nicely can be intimidating.
Back now, Gabriel Kadelka driving the net hard. Victoria via Harper. The puck just needs to continue to move.
Body's dropping.
Certainly is. Here's Trinker getting advantage of it, clearing it out. Kept in the zone, heavy contact from both teams. Trinker. It'll come back now, and it'll come back down for Daniel Kadelka. Got plenty of time left-hand side, entering the zone. Line changes coming up. Almost hitting the roof off the stick of Barrett. Mickey Noddle's got himself into a little contest.
So I like the way Victoria have got a lot of bodies in the back. They're anticipating the hard forecheck by South Australia.
Here's Song Fires.
They've got to just settle down on their giveaways. Maybe utilize the peripheral side of the rink boards or get some support rather than trying to dice it up the middle a bit.
So things seems to have settled down in the penalty department too, which is nice.
Yeah.
3:14 remaining in the first period. Back now to Luca Loria, who fires off the skates there. Here's Lau, Julian Lau off to the races. Also played in the DeFreeze tournament. Had a good DeFreeze tournament for Victoria. Centering in the slot. Couldn't quite pull the trigger, unfortunately. It was off target there by Gower. In the corner, the puck needs to continue to move. Here's Barrett. The puck's free. It was almost in the 5-hole. Is it under there somewhere? And then Murphy just kicks it away in disgust in the end and says, I want no further part of this. Close call for South Australia there, David.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually thought it was in at one point, the way his body language showed it. I guess he just wasn't happy with the opponent in around his blue property.
Tucking zone face-off, blue property. I don't mind that one. Back now, South Australia trying to clear it out via their left-hand side. Gabriel Kadelka. Here's Nikita Gloria. Lau slightly wide. It will come back now. Gabriel Kadelka. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first period. It'll come in towards the South Australian zone now. Fired in. And it'll come back now for Trinker. Trinker fires it in. Good save there by Pappas. Barrett up against the boards. And they'll try and clear it out. Here's Jared Pearce trying to connect and does connect briefly, very briefly with Lake. It will come in with Nikita Lauria, and that will come back near the door of doom out of the zone via Jed Lake. And Lake will just settle things down and finds now. That was a shot from distance that went high there by Harper. Just into neutral ice. Victoria need to go back into the zone, and they can briefly. Daniel Kadelka with it now. Just happy to fire it in and giving his teammates an opportunity to change. Ung Gavin and Luca Lauria come on. Jared Pearce, Gavin. Jed Lake comes off, amongst others. The puck balloons high into the air. South Australia need to clear it out. Victorian player goes firing in the form of Harper. And that, David, may or may not know what waved off at the last moment. In the slot, South Australia just couldn't convert. Ong in front of the net there. Victoria looking to enter the zone, neutral ice. Flung in there, and that will come all the way back down in towards skate high corner. Fired, and it was a good shot there, put a good save there by Murphin.
Yeah, fortuitous bounce there for Victoria. Glance on shot. Had to be alert, Murphin.
And then all of a sudden, David, we've got 42 seconds remaining in the period.
Yeah.
47.
What can happen? Lots can happen still.
Absolutely can. We saw that in the first minute or two.
Yep. No nets have come off since the two, though, either side, have they? It's
so
settled right down.
So maybe the officials there did a good thing and it stopped.
Yeah. I'd say maybe instructions from above.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Back now, here comes South Australia. Nikita Lauria crossing all the lines. Couldn't quite get to the 60 metres or 200 foot of ice. Back now for Jed Lake. Jed Lake now coming in, trying to drive the net.
Tricky little release.
Very, very tricky release indeed. With 20 seconds remaining in the period. Contact up against the boards. Lake battling against Trinker. Reinforcements arriving, including Mickey Noddle. Murphin will hold it with about 6 seconds remaining in the period.
So a face-off. This could be a crucial face-off if someone clean wins it. For example, Victoria.
Now, I'm joking here. I want to preface this by I'm joking. Rob Douchman pulled the goalie for Victoria with 6 seconds remaining in the period. I'm clearly joking. Back now, Jed Lake. Up against the board, up against the skates. They'll clear it out. They'll just settle things down. Up against the bench.
Okay.
Don't need any of that little extracurricular afterwards.
Yeah, they just want each other to remember one another for the next period.
I'm sure they remember what Jared Pearce looks like. And so we're having a look, a very short break, David. Coach's hat on, please. We're looking at the Victorian bench. It was a very interesting start to the period. Describe for each team on the screen what you'd be looking for in the second period.
Yeah, so Victoria, I like the way they are all coming back defensively, or they're playing like a box four, and then they've got the one forward up high. I think that's a wise move after watching South Australia yesterday against New South Wales. So South Australia, they've just got to keep forechecking and in passing that puck around when they get in Victoria's zone. Just hard breakouts. Try not to let Victoria set up. Try and catch forwards that maybe aren't getting back as fast as they expect.
So, sorry, mate, continuing my hockey learning journey, you mentioned a box 4, not quite a box plus 1. Can you explain what a box 4 is, please?
So, I don't know. I call it where they get 4 players back. You've got your 2D, your 2 forwards, and then you've got the 1 forward who's up high, sort of havocing through on the defense. So they're almost like a little bit of a penalty kill. But just having the 4 back is, knowing that South Australia are going to forecheck hard, I think is a wise move. But they've got the speed like Jed Lake to break out fast also. So I like the way they're playing positionally both sides.
Now, because I like to learn terminology and whatnot, I'd heard Dawn Watt say for ages, box plus 1, and I kept on forgetting to ask her, even though she was my coach for the 2-day coaching certificate course.
Oh, yeah.
Spoke to Ray Sheffield. Hey, Ray, can you explain what a box plus 1 is? Oh, you mean 5 on a dice? I don't know, you tell me. So he was telling me the terms are basically interchangeable. Yeah. And then met up with Dawn the other night before the tournament, and she explained it using whatever we had on the table, and haven't seen a lot of box plus 1s actually, come to think of it.
Yeah, look, that 1 forward, he's a little bit of a rover too. It's like, his role is to go with the puck a bit and try and anticipate the play.
Interesting, people have got different terminology for different things according to their background. You have been watching hockey a lot longer than I have. And that will come back now, start of the second period. Let's have a calm start to this period compared to this first period that we had. In the Zamboni corner, out the Zamboni out in 14 and 45. Back now, Harper. Harper fires and Murphin holds and saves.
Yep, nice stable save there. Good start though for Victoria this period. So we've got to see what happens in the face-off. 5 on side each, So
Jed Lake with the face-off win. It'll come back now for Daniel Kudelka as he tries to clear it out. Not quite kept in his own via Victoria. Back towards neutral ice. Mickey Noddle puck deflects out of play. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off, and that will come out. Where are we going? We're going neutral ice. Yep, we're going neutral ice. So you get a lot of hockey in these 10 days, David.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been here too, and I've witnessed a lot of games already, but not 42.
42. You've had a lot of jobs. I've had one big job. Up against the boards, Cafe corner. Victoria trying to clear out of the defensive end. Turnover, Gavin deflected into the glass. It will come back now for Piers. I'll try and clear it out. Ung there was there and thereabouts. Up against the boards, Gavin. It's been busy. South Australia looking to go on the attack. So Victoria have been breaking it easily, David.
Yeah, so there was an example. 3 forwards up low with South Australia. And Victoria recovered nicely, but South Australia are hard on the press when they want to be, and then they're going to try and cycle that puck down low.
So Victoria now on the attack. Zamboni corner. Zamboni out in 13 and a half. South Australia trying to work it out of their defensive end. Here's Gavin. Gavin goes for a skate. Kept in the zone briefly, but it'll come out. And it will come back now. Here's an opportunity, South Australia. Victoria line change. Take advantage of that, South Australia. They go wide. Some soccer skills on display.
Yeah.
And it will come back now. Sometimes it's difficult trying to time your line changes, David.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we've got something.
Here comes Trinker, fired in, goes wide of Pappas.
Yeah, here we go.
Up against the boards. They congregate. We have a penalty coming, our first of the period. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Victorian penalty box door will be opening. Jared Pearce will be entering. South Australia, David heading towards the power play.
Yeah, so the first start of this period has been quite stable with the 5 on, so it'll be interesting to watch the penalty kill by Victoria. A bit of a shift maybe in the game.
What does South Australia need to do on this power play?
Yeah, possession, get it down low. They love to cycle the puck, and that's the opposite.
That's the opposite. Back down, settled down there by Murphy. Here's Daniel Kidelka now. He's been having a great debut season in the AI for the Adelaide Adrenaline. And now I'm getting used to seeing him in 68. He plays for 5 in the Adrenaline. I've already seen the Adrenaline all the times that I'm going to this season. That's something over there on the ice. I don't even know what that is. Back now for Trinker. Back now for Trinker. Trinker fires a deflected wide there by Pappas. Into the corner, in towards skate high corner. Some reinforcements arrive. South Australia still on the power play for the next 70 seconds. Trying to fire. Got a deflection on the way through from the initial shot by Nikita Loria. It will come out of there. Big battle there. Captain on captain at the Victorian bench. Harper getting the better one of that one. All Kidelka got from that one for his troubles was a lot of snow. Nikita Loria firing it in. Deflected wide. Still 47 seconds of the South Australian. Doesn't seem to be a lot of structure so far, David.
No, they're power plays. Victoria, they're controlling the power play here.
So we'll come back now for Scott Dewar. Right-hand side, Kidelka of the Gabriel variety. And that will come back. Now that must be one that coaches aren't happy with, icing on the power play.
No, that's a coach killer.
I was trying not to use those words, and then you exactly did, which is fine because that's what it is.
Yeah, but let's call it an errant pass.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. 2-1 to Victoria. South Australia still on the power play for the next 22 seconds. Here's Gabriel Kidelka. He's got Ong on the left-hand side. Ong to move slightly up against the boards. Battling right underneath the central commentary position. And we'll come back now for Song. And he'll come out and cross ice near the door of doom, corporate corner. Good morning to all of our officials in the corner.
Space.
And empty penalty box. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. I should say good afternoon, really, because it's afternoon. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what time's on the clock. Big hit, 2:18 p.m. Thank you, Michael. That will come back for icing at 2:18 p.m.
So South Australia had some space there to individual space, but Victoria had the middle section, and they had their numbers back. They had 3.5, 4 back to support against the 2 coming in. So they're really being defensively responsible.
Have I got a story about defensively responsible for you if we get a stage? I think Michael knows where I'm going to go with that one. Back now. Yeah, we'll have that conversation later. But you just said those two words. Up against the boards, Cafe Corner. Lots of conversations can be had. Cafe Corner again. Victoria need to clear it out. All the way back down. Good attacking there by Nikita Loria. And underneath that was it was Pappas on the left-hand side. 10-13 remaining. There seems like a lot more action. 15-minute periods here, stop time. Seems a lot more action than 4 3/4 minutes, David.
Yeah, it's we're getting a lot of back and forth. It's good to see a face-off here, though. Let's see what happens.
Later on, into Cafe Corner. Good work there by South Australia, trying to keep Victoria hemmed down here, up against the boards. Puck needs to continue to move. Hasn't spent a lot of time in the neutral zone. Pressure. The puck's under there somewhere, and we'll get a good view of this one on net cam. Little bit of pushy shovey maybe. Our officials are in there quickly. Net cam here on screen.
But, you know,
lots of pressure.
A lot of Victorian players, the D, are standing tall there, just and protecting their goalie nicely, not giving any rebound options.
Certainly helps, Dave, when you got some big guys on D.
Yeah.
Everyone has to protect the house, as I think I heard Simon Ginting say more than once. Cleared out into neutral ice now. It'll be all the way back down. Here comes Victoria on the attack, firing. It will come all the way back down. He hasn't had a lot of work here, Murphin, recently. Up against the corner, Zamboni corner. Victoria now looking to go on the attack. Daniel Kudelka, it'll be with it. Cross ice. Barrett can't keep it in the zone for Victoria, and that'll come all the way back down. Just settling the puck down, Victoria. Left-hand side. Daniel Kudelka does good to keep it in the neutral ice. Another attacking opportunity. Gavin firing from distance. It just got Barrett on the way through. It will come back down. All the way back down for Trinker. Trinker, partial line change for Victoria, including Jed Lake. Lake against Trinker, just happy to fire it in and
dump and chase.
Got
here.
some speed.
It's on.
Dumping and chasing. I think that line change for Victoria is just about complete. All the boats are out there that need to be out there, and all the boats that have been in for a while have come in. Victoria trying to drag the net. Flung out into neutral ice. Here's Sam Barrett, and out of play at the penalty box. And David, in the penalty box, you have to pay attention.
Yeah. Yep. Especially on that side window, there's been a few glances where if it was a little shorter, the penalty box person is a target. I like the intensity by Jed Lake down in the corner there. He almost the puck just overran on him there, but he basically won the battle in the corner and was able to follow it through and almost get a good shot on net.
So back to neutral ice we go. 8:30 remaining in the period. The penalty boxes are currently empty. Shots on, by the way, are actually favouring South Australia 15-9. They are down by one, but it's anyone's game so far. There's a lot of hockey in this one. Here's Gabriel Kudelka now, centering it wide, entering the zone. Gavin wanders in, but Victoria there, they look to clear it out. Got opportunities, clearing it back into neutral ice. Looking to advance the puck now. But here comes Gavin again. Gavin around a couple, up against the boards. Reinforcements arrive. Lots of play down that end of the ice this period, it seems. Some soccer skills on display there by Barrett as he loses his stick, gets it far enough away and looks to clear it out. It will come back now for Victoria. Centering, can't pull the trigger. And now just looking to avoid that hit. Dewar trying to put the hit on. Here's Gavin. Gavin now with it. Looking to fire to get it out of the defensive zone. Gavin has got no support. Partial line change coming up for South Australia. And he needs to play on Pappas, and he does. Mickey Noddle amongst others coming onto the ice. Cafe corner. And they look to clear it out, Victoria. Here's Barrett now. Avoids that hit. And they'll come all the way back now for Scott Dewar. Dewar, cross ice pass for Daniel Kudelka. Partial line change for Victoria. Pappas needs to play on and does. Right hand side, centering. And they'll come back down. Trinker. All the way back down on the attack. South Australia losing possession. Victoria coming out of their own end and been doing some hard work there. The bigger Victorian guys. Opportunity, Daniel Kudelka goes past him, firing slightly wide. Bit of active stick there.
Yep.
Flings out of the zone all the way back down. And that will come back for icing with 6:24 remaining.
So I'm liking the composure, too, of the South Australia defense. They're not rushing plays, and they're taking their time and using their vision and space that they have and opportunities they have in front of them. That was a good set by them.
So Sam Barrett's been doing a lot of work there. Rowan Barrett, rather. We're doing a lot of work for Victoria in the defensive line. Here's Laurier, avoids the hit of the Luca variety. Out of the zone, Trinker. It will come all the way back down, and it'll come back for Victoria at their defensive end, looking to clear it out towards Cafe Corner. Up against the boards, Trinker. Reinforcements arrive on the attack. Blocked wide. It will come back up. Trying to clear it out. Barrett looking for his options left and right. Pressured there by Mickey Noddle. Just some D-to-D passing. Finds Adam Harper, who seems to have got a bit more of a roving commission. Trying to squeeze it into the zone, Victoria. Partial line change coming up for Victoria. Here's Gaveen. Gaveen looking to enter the zone. It'll come back now for Barrett. So good quality save. Good quality save there by Garris.
Yeah, Pappas is, he's settling in. He's very measured and calm, and he's playing nice positionally. He's not giving them a lot of room there to have good shots.
Our officials up and about. Hard contact against the ice. We're all good. And as I mentioned before, I was commentating with Gavin Thurston a little bit earlier. The officials are just there as well as Gavin goes wide. They're there just as much as the players here and skating every second. And it's a hard job. Up against the ice, up against the boards. Gabriel Kadelka up against Julian Lau. Some reinforcements arrived from South Australia looking to clear it out. Cross ice pass. Luckily there were no Victorians here. Ung centering pass. Connecting through with Gavin. Gavin just couldn't put the handle on it at the end. It was good initial work. The approach to the station was good. Sending it wide. Great glove save there by Murphin.
Yeah, Gavin, he's a pesky little forward for South Australia. He's been getting a few opportunities. I know he scored a few goals in this tournament. He's very hard on the forecheck.
Let's see if we can get some action down at this end of the ice. The red seats, the red jerseys. Victoria with a 2-1 lead with 4:45 remaining. It'll come back now for Daniel Kadelka.
There's nice composure.
Here comes Mickey Noddle centering. Couldn't connect directly with Nikita Laurier. Out of the zone with 4:34 remaining before the Zamboni break. Just electing to go backwards at the moment. Good forechecking pressure here by Victoria. Finding some support. Here's Daniel Kadelka looking to fire it in. And they'll try and clear it out. And they'll clear it out, Victoria. The D wasn't really in possession there for the pass on the right-hand side. It'll come back now for Trinker on the attack. Trinker now, they need somebody in front. Mickey Noddle's there to come across and lend a hand. Daniel Kadelka trying to keep it in the zone. Victoria, they work it out of the zone on the right-hand side now. It will come all the way back with 3:50 remaining. No icing. Daniel Kadelka across to Luca Laurier, back to Daniel Kadelka.
Just settle things down here.
So partial line change for Victoria. It'll come back now. Up against the boards. Noddle. Centre ice. Daniel Kadelka with a handy touch for Jed Lake. Lake just electing to go backwards for the moment. Having some good pressure there now. He straightens up the attack, drives the car north. Luca Laurier promotes the puck in the zone and opportunity to change for South Australia with 3:15 remaining. Victoria behind their own net looking to clear it out. Daniel Kadelka just happy to fire it back in with 3:05 remaining. Victoria, Jed Lake, Kadelka. Opportunity for Gavin if it had gone on his stick. Here's Nikita Laurier now. Needs someone to drive the net. Trinker's trying to do there. There's a stick in the way. Victorian player's lost his stick. Retrieves it, luckily for him. And that will come all the way back down for icing, David, with 2:42 remaining.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit of line matching going on here with the big guns from both teams, which is kind of neutralizing things at the moment. I think it's a little bit of a coaching battle at the moment.
So I'm presuming, and fill me in here if I'm wrong, but is this a level where coaches are trying to really match up their lines? Is this like the first time that happens?
No, it depends. It can happen at younger ages for sure. Especially, if you've got a couple of kids that are really strong, you'll find on both teams they'll try and nullify. Coaches will try to, with the changes and the amount of time that they play, to get that get the opportunity where the other might not be on.
So back now, Daniel Kudelka firing for distance and a good quality glove save there by Pappas.
It's a nice close game. So, line 1s and 2s are really dictating.
And it's certainly changed from what we thought, what I thought the start of the game was after those first couple of tic-tac goals. We really haven't had anything since, and I'll recap those goals for you at the end of this period. Luca Loria firing from distance, slightly wide. It will come back now for Kudelka. Cross-ice pass, it will come back now for Luca Loria. Battle up against the boards. The Nets certainly have stayed on for quite some time. There's only been maybe a couple of times through desperation, and there's desperation. There's a goal for South Australia with a minute 50 remaining in the period.
Yep.
That's 2-2.
That could have been a time when the net would have been nice for the net to come off, I think. A wraparound like that. It was a sneaky little wraparound. Nice goal.
Nice.
Let's watch it on the...
Nice goal here by Ung. Replay action.
Yeah. Oh, I got him 5-goal. Yeah.
Second attempt there. 150 remaining before the Zamboni. And that changes the complexion, David. It's now 2-2.
Yeah.
It will come back now for Ung. Barrett now trying to clear it out. Victoria. It was 2-1 for such a long period, and all of a sudden it's 2-2. 90 seconds remaining of the period, or 92 seconds remaining of the period, and that will come back for icing. Certainly hasn't turned into a high penalty game.
No, it should be a good third period. Great third period.
So
Jet Lake's taking the face off, so he's looking around. He's keen to win this one.
So it's the last day of the round robin section, and we go into semi-finals and gold and medal games tomorrow to see the end of the tournament, because it's been a long tournament, but a very enjoyable tournament. 4 tournaments in one. Zamboni corner, battle up against the boards. It'll come out now and they'll clear it out, South Australia. 2-2 the score. Entering the zone, firing Gavin. And South Australia were line changing at the time. Probably not the best time to do that.
No, they could have done with some help there. There was the 4 Victorians back there. But, they're all there, too, to help with the rebound. The goalie controlled that puck nicely there. No option for a rebound.
69 seconds remaining in the period. Drinker will take the attacking zone face-off for South Australia. Victoria would like themselves to clear it out of the zone in towards neutral ice. Here's Trinker. There is 1 minute remaining in the second period. Come back now is Harper. Firing. Good save there by Murphin. Battle up against his Jed Lake. Centering, trying to connect with somebody in Victorian blue, Victorian white and Victorian red, but can't. Here's Trinker now. 40 seconds remaining in the period. Nikita Laureate couldn't quite get the pass. And it will come back now for Kudelka. Firing it in. All the way back down, and it will come back now for Barrett. Barrett clearing it out. Battle up against Noddle. Here's an uh-oh. And that was almost an uh-oh for a different reason. Victoria cleared it out. There's an uh-oh.
Yeah.
Noddle and Gavin combining well there. Gavin, as you said earlier, he's been around everywhere. 9 seconds remaining in the period. Hitting the roof, not for the first time at the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium, with 6.33 seconds remaining. No need to line change with 6 seconds to go in the period, is there?
No, pull the goalie.
Pull the goalie. attacking zone face-off coming up for South Australia now. Just over 6 seconds remaining.
Will Trinca get a clean sweep?
Oh, very close to it as it turned out. Oh, and that is it for the period.
That was an entertaining one, though. It was, not a lot of goals in that, but it was a little bit of a stalemate until the one goal.
So we'll have a look at the goal scorers for you in that period. It certainly turned out to be an interesting start to the period. The period started out with one penalty against each goalie for delay of game for kicking the nets off, and the goalie's probably having a little conference now saying, hey mate, how you going, etc. Now.
I wonder if it'll return in the last couple of minutes if it's close.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Okay, so we'll just refresh that score, because for some reason it was telling me online briefly that was being played in Melbourne, which isn't the case. So a very tight game. As I was saying, the first couple of minutes there were a penalty either way. It looked like it was going to be one of those sort of games with heaps of penalties, but David, it turned into a really nice game in the end for these first two periods. Okay, got it. Okay, so having a look, Piers opened up the scoring, assisted by Lake, the first goal for Victoria. And then the second goal, Lake assisted by Chia, so 2 goals to Victoria. And then South Australia responded by Nikita Loria, assisted by Daniel Kadelka. And right at the end there, with 1:50 remaining in the period, Ung unassisted. With 1:50 remaining in the period, it's all tied at 2. Shots well and truly favouring South Australia, 27-11. But strap yourselves in, it's going to be a fantastic game. Be back in about 10 minutes for the resumption of play. 2-2 the score, Victoria, South Australia. Back soon. Welcome back to the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium. Eric Brook and David Baxter with you for this third and final period. I was looking up, and David, there's 4 tournaments at once, each 6 teams in each. There's a lot of players here.
Yeah.
And I was just curious about Jed Lake, and I know I've said during the tournament, maybe the Melbourne Ice or the Mustangs should put his signature on a piece of paper. The Melbourne Ice have done exactly that, looking at elite prospects. And he has scored 2 goals in 3 games for the Mice. So good on Jed Lake, and have had it confirmed that he's actually is the brother of Cy Lake. I wasn't sure about that. And up now, here comes South Australia via Trinker, turned over Harper. And it will come back now for Trinker. Cross ice pass. Here comes Noddle now. Really love to see Noddle get himself a goal, but that's not even Noddle. That is Nikita Loria. I just saw the one, and that will come back 30 seconds remaining of the period. Kept in the zone, Zebra down, okay. Deflected on the way through, Zamboni corner, fresh sheet of ice. And you were saying here, David, when you play here, you love this ice here at Hunter Ice Skating Stadium. There is.
Oh, I love the glass, yeah.
Here's Gavin getting sent wide, door of doom. There's lots of action for this third and final period, and it's just amazing when you have a bit of a gap and a bit of a break, you can come out speedy again.
Yeah.
Up against the boards, here's Gabriel Kadelka. New units coming on, here's Song entering the zone, battle up against the boards. It'll come back now, Song centering pass, couldn't convert there. In the slot was Gabriel Breaker. Here's a breakaway, here comes Victoria. Firing a good save there by Murph, and it was a great drive to the net by Luzungi.
Yeah, Murphin, he really looked, he was very good positionally there. You weren't going to beat him low there. No, yeah. He came out nice and aggressive, just above the blue. So when I was walking to get a Pepsi, sorry for the advertisement, walked by the South Australia bench, and the coach had the leadership group. He was talking to them specifically. So I think they're looking to tweak something this period, so I'm interested to see what it is.
Here comes South Australia working out of their friendship group and the leadership group, and Daniel Kadelka is one of the leadership groups, the captain. And here comes Jed Lake. Jed Lake looking to enter the zone now, gets forced wide there by Luca Loria. Tucking, here's Adam Harper. Little bit of pushy shovey afterwards. Taking exception to that, there's penalties coming. Kadelka, amongst others, should be going for that one. That was totally unnecessary. You know, the old hockey cliche, protect the goalie, etc. But that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't mind that. They thought, they wanted to ask the question, see if the puck was really there. Yeah, a little bit late.
So here's Luca Loria sitting. See if there's going to be anyone else. I thought Daniel Kadelka came from a distance. Maybe he might be sitting as well. So we've got one for each so far. So Harper and Luca Loria, they will cancel each other out. So a cross-check against South Australia, a rough, and also a high stick. So we'll wait for those penalties to be confirmed. But I did see a rough and a high stick against Victoria.
So that's 5 on 5 aside.
So that'll be interesting to see if we'll get confirmation on that shortly about those penalties. I was just looking at so definitely 5 on 5. And now South Australia look to clear it out. Tensions are high at the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium. State against state, mate against mate with 13:09 remaining. South Australia at their defensive end. Kadelka. Here's Scott Dewar up against the boards. Here's Trinker. Trinker with it now. Cross ice. Daniel Kadelka firing it up all the way back down. And that will come back for icing.
Of course, it's icing because it's 5 aside.
And that's one trap that sometimes you fall into, especially if you have one power play one way or the other, and then somebody else enters the box to make it 4 on 4, and then you might think, oh well, someone's just gone into the penalty box, so it's still still a power play one way or the other, but then it's even strength. So
yeah, especially the officials have to keep their eye on the ball. Being an official myself, sometimes the penalties counts can get away from you.
So we've got another member of Team Zebra with me. Back now, here comes Victoria on the attack. South Australia, desperation in the French Devoir, even though he was on his knees at the time. Looking to clear it out, South Australia, and they do. So those players will come back.
That was a nice little spin.
And out of the zone. We've got a player down on the blue line. He looks like he's in a bit of distress. Not going to guess on the number because I can't see it at the moment.
No, it's twisted in like a pretzel, the number on his shirt. I think number 2, number 3.
So medics are coming out to assess the player.
He's moving, his head's up.
So 12:24 remaining. So the player's up and about. So our officials are talking at centre ice, which should be pretty much situation normal regardless now. And he is up and about. It's Alvin Chan. And he'll return to the dressing room and get assessed. We do have medics on site.
Oh, they're doing it. Yeah, they're doing the
concussion
check.
So they're going to do a concussion check. So both teams are at their respective benches at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So back to centre right. No, we're going a neutral zone face off the penalty box doors. As a result of that, have remained closed.
5 on.
So we've still got 5 on from the original penalty from about 30 seconds ago. That will come up now for Victoria. Victoria out of their defensive end. That will come back, dumped in by Victoria. They'll come back now for Daniel Kadelka. And it will come back now for Victoria. Victoria at their defensive end. Cross-ice pass. 12 minutes remaining in the period. Going wide. Up against the boards. Venenum. Victoria getting around 1, getting around 2. Gavin looking to take over. Out of zone, back in the neutral ice there by Victoria now. Here's Gavin, certainly been busy. Line change opportunity, so Gavin was the only South Australia player out there.
Yeah, he's very good at being a lone ranger, Gavin, when there's line changes.
So maybe that's part of the strategy.
Yeah, just push, keep the puck up, maybe.
So it'll come back now. It'll go on the left-hand side for South Australia as a player loses his stick. And it will come back now for Nikita Lauria up against the boards.
He's got pop still.
Certainly has. 11 minutes remaining.
Oh, here we go.
Here's an opportunity.
He just circumnavigated the whole offensive zone.
Good quality shot there by Nikita Lauria. Dewar fired in, deflected there. Heavy contact up against the boards over there on the far side.
Oh, there's some space there for Ung.
Here's an opportunity now. Here comes Victoria.
2 on 1.
Fire Lake. Lake fires deflected higher by Murphin.
I would have liked to have seen a low rebound shot there for his teammate.
That will come all the way back down in towards Zamboni corner. And they look to clear it out. Back to centre ice we go. Ung flings it out. 2-2 the score. Victoria look to clear it out.
Dancing up the middle is not what you want to do. especially in a 2-all game, third period.
And here's some desperation. So replay action, David.
Yep. Yeah, good safe play by Pappas. He's kept it nice and safe. In the beginning.
So just to confirm those last penalties, Harper for Victoria, 2 minutes for high sticking, Laurier 2 minutes for cross-checking for South Australia, so there was no additional penalties.
Nope.
So they cancelled each other out. Luca, Laurier now. Now they try and clear it out Victoria. They go the aerial route. That will come all the way back down. So they have to watch the offside.
It's interesting how Victoria are stretching it out a bit. They know that South Australia they're really pressing hard in the offensive zone, and Victoria are countering with some of those longer stretch passes this period. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah. So 2-all the score with 9:22 in the period. You'd be fairly happy with the way that both teams are going. Taking his own face-off coming up for South Australia, taken by Song. Trying to clear it out all the way out. Corporate corner. Now they've got an opportunity to clear it out via Harper. Flung down Gavin, gloves it down to himself, which is A-OK. Deflected there by Pappas. There is a penalty coming on the play. High sticking.
High stick, okay.
Penalty box door will be opening.
So this could be a game changer.
So Gavin has been relatively well behaved, sitting 2 minutes for high sticking. Special delivery, thank you Michael.
What have you got? Something from Cafe Corner?
Fish cocktails from Cafe Corner. He said he was going to do it at one stage and picked a good moment to do it. The staff here at Hunter Ice Skating Stadium certainly looking after us. They've been busy. It's been a long tournament for them as well, but very well looking after us as always. Back in towards neutral ice. Here's Song now. Song trying to enter the zone, firing, spraying it wide. It will come back now. Flung in from distance again. And they'll come across now. Victoria should be able to clear their zone. There's still a minute, there's still 90 seconds on the power play here for Victoria.
So going back to those fish cocktails, they're very large fish cocktails.
They certainly are. Come up in a nice little box and some tartare sauce.
I'm not a fan of tartar sauce.
No, me neither.
No. I've got, you know how many of those packets I have at home because my missus keeps saving them?
One tip, if you're ordering hot chips here at the Hunter Ice Skating Stadium, if you don't specify, they will put on chicken salt by default. Back now for Daniel Kadelka. That'll come all the way back down. 69. Here's Jed Lake now. Jed Lake entering the zone, which definitely
very
isn't a him problem. Back now centering in the slot, and they do have Adam Harper in front of the net, which has been good for them as well, David.
Yes, yeah, that good presence.
It will come back now. It'll come back down. Pappas will just settle down the puck, and it will come back. Here's Jaden Pearce.
He's Jed's go-to guy.
Got his head up,
nice.
right-hand side, entering the zone. Here's Adam Harper again. This guy's got a promising future in the AI with the Mustangs. And that will come all the way back down. Safety first. 23 seconds of the power play remaining for Victoria. It'll come up against Song, up against the boards. Reinforcements arrive. A valuable seconds, David Eaton off the power play. It'll come back now for Victoria. Victoria with it. They'll come into the zone. It'll come back now for Daniel Kadelka. Leaving the puck behind. That's unfortunate. He recovers though. Clears it out. The penalty box door is open. Look, Gavin comes back and we're back to 5-on-5.
Just missed the penalty kill dump there. Unfortunate. Yeah, I liked a little bit of what Victoria did there. They changed the pace through the neutral zone with the power play. Didn't work out, but it was kind of pretty to watch.
Okay, here we are with 6:55 remaining. And that'll come back now for Murphin, who holds and saves.
Yeah, he's not giving up rebounds, is he?
Certainly a big, strong goalie, as a lot of them are at this level.
Yeah.
And I know you'll be watching your son intently, Justin, for the remainder of this tournament.
Yeah, they're pretty much big at this tournament.
And of course, this is probably a conversation for another time. You know, why people choose to become goalies is Barrett now up against the boards, trying to clear it out now. Trinker. Barrett's doing a good job of tying up the puck. Victoria trying to clear it out. Just kept in the zone by Daniel Kudelka.
Someone there to sweep it.
Cleared out, and it will come back now for Luca Loria. That'll come down now, being pressured in defence there. They try and clear it out, South Australia, and they do, only finding Barrett.
Both teams look very evenly matched at the moment.
Entering the zone now, here comes Victoria. Trying to fire from distance.
Good defence.
South Australia try and clear it out now. Here's an opportunity for Gavin. Had his pocket picked. No, and that's not a good time to possibly change some lines. They were all spread out, those South Australia. Some desperation in defence.
Oh, that was a nice
shot
save.
fired. Yeah. Good save, Murphin.
He's very good down low.
Back now in the slot. The puck ballooned, and sometimes, David, those ones that balloon up are hard.
The chip shots, yeah.
Look at the shot count, David.
Yeah, that shot count. So 31 for Victoria. It's double shots.
Noddle now, nice delivery on the left-hand side. Shot fired there.
And that was a nice aggressive stop by Pappas, the goalie. Came out, really covered the net and blocked all the angles.
I really love the delivery between Mickey Noddle and then Nikita Loria there. Mickey Noddle playing up from DeFreeze, and that was fantastic.
So you've seen a lot of him over the week, eh?
Oh, yeah. Be keen to see how he goes in the Adelaide system.
Yep.
Oh, what a save.
Yeah, that was a nice save. Good release, too. Yep.
5:55 remaining. Attacking zone face-off, South Australia. An arm wrestle this period as they fire it in. 5:10 remaining. It'll come up now. Victoria trying to clear it out near the door of doom. Nikita Loria with the check. Up against, he springs up again like an Energizer bunny. Daniel Kudelka left now for Luca Loria. Up against Straden Pearce. It'll come all the way back down. Safety first. No, don't turn it over like that. Here's Trinken out.
Door there.
And a backdoor opportunity.
Yeah.
Here's Jed Lake firing it in. Just electing to go wide. Murphin was a good backdoor opportunity there for Harper. He needs some support. Now he's got some in the form of Gower. Will come all the way back down, and it's funny how you get used to seeing certain players in certain numbers. And I keep on thinking 13 Victoria, either Ashley Aparicio or Jeff Hu, and not Flynn Gower, who plays in a different number in the AI. Dropping it off now, firing in front, opportunity again. Victoria have a great opportunity, and they've converted in front. They needed to clear it out, South Australia, and they couldn't. And Chan, as he put the exclamation point on it with 3:59 remaining, that is the question for the ages.
That was a great third effort. Rebound. I think it's the second shot at the honey. And fortuitous bounce.
Sometimes, David, that's hockey luck, but also tenacious activity by Victoria. South Australia just couldn't clear it away. It did take them 3 attempts. Heavy contact up near the bench. Devine entering the zone. 2-on-1 situation. Victoria getting forced wide.
The intensity's gone up, hasn't it?
Certainly has, with 3:40 remaining up against the boards. A great battle for my last Tange game for this little section before we go back to Ginsberg. Back up for Gavin. Thought that he managed to split the gap between the player and the wall there. Victoria line change. The intensity certainly has creeped up in the next couple of minutes. Victoria now all up and about. It'll come back down for Daniel Kudelka. They'll clear it out. Right-hand side centering pass. Tapped on there by Gavin. It's Jaden Pears. And out of play, open bench door.
So, goalie pull. Here we go again, eh?
Okay, goalie pull. Let us know your theory. 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah. I'm a 2-minute man myself.
So you're a 2-minute man. So the current situation, it is 3-2 Victoria. 3 minutes on the clock, neutral zone face-off. And I suppose too, David, it also depends on where they are on the ice at the moment. Gower, Kudelka, happening to fling it in. We'll keep an eye on the Merkin net. The Murphin net even. Oh no, almost a turnover. Turnover, great work, Mickey Noddle. Now they look to clear it out. Victoria might not have the opportunity. South Australia, they're just happy to fling it in. Victoria.
Yeah.
Victoria
smart,
in the box
smart.
seat.
Just keep it simple.
Back it in neutral ice.
There it goes again.
Flung in by Victoria. Back now for Loria of the Luca variety cross ice pass. Are we going to have a last minute finish here? South Australia involved again as they were against WA yesterday. Daniel Kudelka with it now. He's got eyes for Song. Tapped on there by Song. It'll come back for Chan, who's up and about after his recent collision with the ice. Back now, Gavin. Pressure, Song. Back now for South Australia with 1:50 remaining. They're at the wrong end to pull the goalie. And all the way back down, no icing. Chan with it again. South Australia looking to clear it out in the slot. They're saved there by Pappas. Good attempt there by Ung trying to split the gap. Yep. 98 seconds remaining. Timeout, South Australia. Coach's hat on, please, David.
Yeah, so Victoria, they just got to keep doing what they're doing. They're dump and chase, hard forecheck. South Australia, they've they got to start thinking about stretching it out a bit.
So South Australia
and the goalie pull.
So South Australia, they're down by a goal, 98 seconds remaining. Attacking zone face-off coming up for South Australia. The net's currently empty because Murphin's over at the bench receiving the instructions. First of all, will he go back in the net? That's the first question I'm asking you.
Yeah, he is.
And he is.
Yeah. You'd like to think they've had that conversation, though. And if they got to get a man in front, South Australia, and have someone up in the slot, and they got to fight for space, bit of screen, and then get that sixth man on to be in front of the net with them, the other man.
So South Australia with it all to do. Victoria in the box seat. They're sending out Lake and also back there Harper.
I personally think this is
Jared Pearce, rather. I wouldn't mind seeing Samuel Bartlett out there, Barrett rather out there at the same time.
It's a good time to pull the goalie too after a timeout because you can have a set play. So I'm disappointed they haven't done it. To be honest.
Back now, Gavin. And here is Pearce looking to go the aerial route. Safety first there. No icing. Here comes Kudelka. They try and clear it in and neutralise South Australia. They've done that. But Pearce promotes it back towards Cafe Corner. Daniel Kudelka, 200 feet or 60 metres. Now they go on the right-hand side. Here's Gavin entering the zone. Trying to get through one. Can't. Cleared out. Neutral ice. Empty net for South Australia. Extra attacker on. And it will come back now. Gavin with an opportunity to get the puck first of all. Big hit thrown. Door of doom. Victoria will be happy with this. The puck just getting tied up at the half wall near the door of doom. South Australia backdoor opportunity was just too wide of the backdoor opportunity. Nikita Loria. 45 seconds remaining. Trinker. There is a player with a stick on the ice. Jared Pearce. Exclamation point on. Well, Jared Pearce comes up doing snow angels on the ice. His teammates come up. Exclamation point on it. Victoria will take it with 33.54 seconds remaining. They had to go South Australia.
Yeah, dreadlocks on ice. Yeah, it was a great celebration.
Now, I've seen some interesting ones here before. There was another one with Silake here last year where him and his teammates basically went kayaking on the ice. Now we've seen a dreadlock snow angel on the ice. Timeout, Victoria.
Multi-octopuses. Octopi, not octopuses. What am I saying? Yeah.
So 3-all the score now. Okay, so it is 4-2. I just looked up the scoreboard. We're all good now. 4-2 the score. That hopefully, for Victorian point of view, will give them the breathing space.
Yeah, the standings will tighten with the win by Victoria. I think I need a pocket calculator. Of course, there's more to come.
Absolutely, there is. I'm not even going to try and guess who's in the semi-finals at this stage. We will know at the end of this afternoon in the Tange and also in the Ginsberg. Last day of the round robin today. South Australia with it all to do, 30 seconds. And Victoria, David, they'll just play safe hockey now, you would think, just to try and keep it away from South Australia. First step, neutral zone.
Wasn't safe.
So they've done that. Neutral zone. South Australia, Dewar firing it in. 14 seconds. Here's Harper. Avoids the hit. Looking to clear it out here. Here's Gower. Gower does a good thing and clears it out. That will come back down for icing with 3.36 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you don't mind an icing at that stage.
So all Victoria, David, have to do is do exactly that again, and it's game.
Game over. Yeah. It's been a great game. Both games, eh?
Certainly has been.
Yeah.
Attacking zone face-off, South Australia. Mickey Noddle, not quite a miracle on ice. Actually, probably would be a miracle on ice required at this stage. Victoria will just swing it out of the zone, and that will be it. And Victoria, they win 4-2. The start of the game was very different to the end of it, and in the end, Victoria 4, South Australia 2. Great effort from both ends of the ice. Very different emotions at either end of the ice, David.
Yeah, it's amazing as the tournament goes on how the score lines really tighten, because players are tired, the systems start to develop more and more. And, at the beginning of the game, some of the score lines were a bit sketchy, but yeah, it's really turning into a really good setup for the semis and finals.
So
there's a lot of competitive teams here.
So handshake lines all around. So coming up soon, Ginsberg, South Australia versus WA. Handshakes all round here. Quality game here as we're getting towards the conclusion of the round robin stages in Tange and also in Ginsberg. On behalf of David Baxter, myself and the entire Thought Fox Media crew, thank you very much for your company. We'll continue with the next game very, very shortly. That's been a great Tange battle. It will come in the books as a 4-2 win Victoria against South Australia. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.